We are live. Guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Patrick Lorienti. I'm a licensed real estate agent here in Colorado and have been for the last 10 years. Guys, last weekend was busy. We got 2 first-time home buyers. We got 1 move-up buyer. And we got 1 seller under contract on a weekend. Really grateful for what I do and excited for them. Now, why am I telling you that? Because I don't just want you to think I'm good at YouTube, but I'm not actually doing business. I'm out there in the market every single day. And so while we do these updates of the Denver real estate market, and I'm going to share some graphs and some insight with you, I'm actually going to also give you real perspective of what's it like boots on the ground and to give you a sense and understanding of what's actually happening in the real estate market. So with that, if you guys haven't already, subscribe to the channel. We got an update coming to you live every single Wednesday. And guys, these aren't just your boring chart analysis market updates. This is stuff that I'm going to get into and articulate it in a way that you understand and can take this information and bring it to your realtor or bring it into the purchase or sell of your home so that we set you up for success, knowing exactly what's happening in the market, how it affects you, and what you can do about it. Now, guys, there is a fresh perspective that we're going to go over today. I'm super excited, and let's dive into it. So first things first, I go through these reports, not in every update, but we're going to do it today because I like the report. I skimmed through this. I didn't read through it. So some of this is new to me, but I like the gist of what we got here. This is a company update. And with that, let's dive in, guys. I'm going to go through this report and then I'll give you buyers some insight, some sellers some insight, and then we'll wrap up. Depending on your perspective, the market feels either awesome or not so much. Right now, the real estate market is either a dream or a grind. It just depends on which side of the transaction you're on. Guys, if you're a buyer, it's a buffet. You've got 13,000 homes on the market. Prices are beginning to ease, and your negotiating power is the strongest it's been since 2012. The leverage is clearly in your hands. Seller, this market probably feels like work. Patience is required. Strategy is non-negotiable. And mindset, it's time to rewrite it in a way we haven't seen in nearly a generation. A generation? It's been 17 years, guys, since the housing crash of 2018, an entire generational cycle since we've seen a market shift of this magnitude. But let's be very clear. This is not 2008. And understanding why it matters. So let's get into it. A different kind of downturn. Unlike the crash driven by reckless lending, today's correction is rooted in fundamental marketing dynamics. In 2008, no doc, adjustable rate mortgages, and widespread poor credit underwriting triggered the collapse. Today, buyers are getting 30-year fixed loans with excellent credit. Guys, the financing has tightened up significantly since 2008. The whole crash of 2008 was because of real estate and bad mortgages. That's just not the case anymore. The average homeowner now has 3 times the equity compared to 2008. They're not walking away from their homes. They're protecting them. Most homeowners locked in a sub 4.5% interest rate, making their monthly payments incredibly affordable. Even in economic uncertainty, it's unlikely they'll find cheaper housing incentives or alternatives. So you think back in 2008, people had these terrible mortgages. And what happened was when the rate adjusted up, it was just cheaper to let that thing go and get into a rental. But guys, it's just not the market we're in. So that's the good news. Now, there's definitely some different factors to consider in this market, but we're not in 2008. All right. But guys, back then, resetting mortgages and underwater equity forced people to sell. Now, most homeowners don't need to sell. And that changes everything. We may still see prices decline, but they'll do so gradually, shaped by natural supply and demand, not financial system failure. A new paradigm for sellers. Guys, if you're selling a home, this is for you. It is so important that you understand the market and what you're getting into so you can make the best decision for yourself and your family. This is still a significant shift, and it demands a different playbook for sellers. 58% of properties are now selling below asking price. That number is projected to surpass 75% by year end. Guys, that means 3 out of 4 homes will be selling below the asking price. 36.6% of listings had at least 1 price reduction. Expect that to climb past 60%. And days on market are averaging 71 days, a figure likely to be stretched beyond 75 days by year end. Absolutely crazy if you've been in the market the past 10 years. We are in a completely different market. Not only has that door closed, that ship sailed, you can't even see it. The market's gone, guys. We're in a new market. And ultimately, the reality is a reality. And for you sellers, it really does take a paradigm shift. And here's what to expect. Guys, buyers are more selective. Inventory is climbing. And while demand remains, it's spread thin across a sea of options. Sellers who adapt quickly through pricing strategy, home prep, and aligned expectations will still succeed. But guys, gone are the days of quick sells at over asking prices by default. Some still get lucky, but luck, guys, is not a strategy. Now, let's dive into weekly stats. Inventory rose slightly from 12,974 homes for sale, fueled by 1,400 new listings and 445 expired listings. You can see this is a graph showing inventory from 2015 over here to the left to 2025, a 10-year history of inventory. You can see it kind of ebbs and flows fairly similar every year. But what you're seeing here is, guys, we're at an all-time high for 10 years, and it's not stopping. Okay. When you have that many options on the market in terms of homes sell for buyers, buyers have the advantage. While on a predictable downward trajectory, driven primarily by the slide of condo and townhome market, the median price for all property types held steady at $595,950. You could see this. I'm going to zoom in for you guys. You see this kind of like orangish, brownish line here. You can see how it's below these lines. Yeah, that's medium sales price. So you can already see that pricing start to dip from previous years past, right? The only year that was below it in week 21, 22 was 2021. And obviously you could see the gap in pricing there. Prices went up and up and up and up. And that's why you see that gap. But we're starting to get that retraction in home prices. The detached home market is showing more resilience and is generally trending upward in price for the last 6 weeks, ending last week at median price. So this is for all property types, including townhomes and condos. This is just for detached single family homes. You can see pricing is holding steady, but it's kind of like that person in the race that is just doing their almighty. They have a ton of willpower. They're trying to keep along with the other runners, but it's hard. And you can just see it on them that they're going to fall at some point and not going to finish the race as strong. And that's kind of what pricing's doing. It's fairly resilient. It's holding strong. But I mean, the trend, if you look at all the other graphs from January until about week 25, you could see this line struggling a little bit. It followed similar patterns, but it's much more flat. And so if you just take that into account and fast forward it throughout the rest of the weeks of the year, I think we're going to see a decline in pricing there. Just my prediction. Who knows what's going to happen? Buyer showing activity remained strong at 27,000 total showings last week, but sellers are now averaging 34 showings to secure a contract. And with inventory up, homes are only seeing about 2 showings per week. The sellers who haven't yet shifted expectations, it feels like the brakes are fully on. You guys, what they mean by that is, guys, like sellers, if you're still expecting to sell in a week or 2 weeks or a month, if you're expecting to get 5 showings in a weekend, like, you're not getting the right information, and you're probably feeling frustrated, and you're probably not being educated with the proper expectations. And with that, your strategies aren't aligned, and you're sitting on the market, you're feeling frustrated, and it kind of feels hopeless at times. So that's why you subscribe to this channel and watch this information. Guys, I've been licensed for 10 years. I love doing these videos for you because I'm terrible at writing this stuff. So I'd rather jump on YouTube, give you guys the digest and download so that could set you up for success. But by all means, I love doing real estate more. And so you could see my number down below. If you guys need help, if you guys have questions, if you guys want to talk to me and see how I work and how I set expectations and put my sellers in a position to succeed, reach out down below. I am the one answering the calls, text. And guys, the bottom line, this isn't a collapse, but it is a reset. And it's also an opportunity for those willing to shift perspective, adjust strategy, and embrace reality of the current market cycle. There's a lot of opportunity in this market. All right, guys, that is the update for today. Now, buyers, again, you can kind of get the gist. You have an incredible opportunity here. We're finally in that market that everyone is like, oh gosh, I wish I would have bought a home here. I wish I would have bought a home 10 years ago. Like, we're there. We just entered that door. The market is reset. The market has shifted, and we're finally entering into that market where 10 years from now, you're going to look back at this market in the likely coming years. Some of this is going to be dependent on rates. Guys, if we see a significant fall in rates, I mean, if we're seeing fours, the market is going to go a different direction. Are we going to see it go in that direction as much as 2020, 2021, even earlier pre-pandemic years? I don't think so, because we have all this pent up inventory. But I think that the pricing charts will definitely correct, and we will see an appreciating market. But unless we see a real significant downward trend in rates, now's the time for buyers. And that's the opportunity in this market. And for you sellers, not all of you, but a good amount of you are going to have a lot of equity. And so even though pricing is coming down, not a great time to sell, the pro is you're probably going to buy something, and it's going to kind of counterbalance the con of selling in this market, because there's going to be a big pro of buying in this market. Now, some of you guys might just have a home to sell and you're not going to buy something. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, there's going to be pros and cons in this market. Ultimately, if we look at this objectively, the market is the way it is. And all we can do is say, here's what's happening in the market. What is your situation? And can we achieve your goals in this market, or do we need to wait? But if we look at it like that, and we just have some objectivity to what's happening in the market and build a strategy around that rather than what was, then you're going to be set up for success. It might not be the exact results you're looking for, but where there's a will, there's a way. And for most of you, there's likely some creative solutions where we can get you set up for success to achieve your goals in this market. Now, buyers, again, great opportunity. New builds, an incredible opportunity for you guys in terms of not only taking advantage of the market, but also getting a really low rate, because builders typically have really aggressive rate incentives. And so with that, new builds, an excellent choice. Assumable mortgages. If you're still rocking with me and you're a buyer, you got to reach out and text me and say, what are assumable mortgages? I want to get a 2.75% rate. And I'm here to tell you guys that is a reality in today's market. No one talks about this enough, but it is an incredible way for you guys to get a really, really, really low rate in today's market. Now, there's some caveats to this. It's definitely not the path of least resistance. But if you're working with somebody like me who sees opportunity and is not afraid to do the work to help you guys find these homes and go through maybe a longer process that might come with a little bit more energy and effort, let's go. Let's go. Because if you can do an assumable mortgage, which is essentially refinancing the debt of the current homeowner in your name. So say Joe, I'm using Joe as an example. Joe bought a home during COVID years. He got a 2.75% rate, and it's a FHA or VA loan. Well, you could go to Joe and say, hey, Joe, I see your house is for sale and you got an FHA mortgage at 2.75. I want to assume your mortgage, meaning you're going to assume Joe's debt. You're going to refinance his debt into your name and keep his 2.75% rate. Once you do that, it is your loan. Joe's completely gone out of the question. That is your loan now at that 2.75% rate. And it's an incredible opportunity. Again, not for everyone. A lot of times, not always, you need a fair amount of cash up front because you're paying the difference between their purchase price and what they owe, but it's an incredible opportunity. So guys, look, this market, you need an agent who's going to do the work. You need an agent who's hungry, and you need somebody who is going to come alongside you and spend the time understanding your goals, understanding what you need to happen in order to achieve those goals, and somebody who's going to be willing to put in the work. Guys, gone are the days where us realtors can put a sign in the yard, sell your house for $50,000 over asking in the first weekends, and look like a hero. It takes work. It is a grind. It takes understanding the market so that we can have these conversations. Guys, on my listings, I do a Monday market update. I'm sorry, we shifted to Tuesday because a lot of data that is important happens on Monday. So we do a Tuesday weekly update. every single week on every single listing so that I can communicate with my sellers what's going on, what's happening. And the last thing you want to do as a seller is make a price adjustment too early or too late. How do you avoid that? You do the work and get with a high level agent that's going to be able to help you guys. Now, with this, I'm wrapped up. I'm finished up. Guys, if you have any questions, throw them into the comments, or else I'm going to jump off and get to it. You got my number and contact information down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We got a weekly update coming every single Wednesday. Okay. A market update every single Wednesday. And it's really, really good information. Guys, I don't think you can get this level of a market update anywhere else, given in a way that puts you guys in a position to succeed in today's market. Again, throw a comment down below if you guys have a question. I'll answer them live. Otherwise, you got my contact information down below. Subscribe to the channel because it's likely you're not transacting this week, maybe not even next week, maybe not even next month, but you are considering it. You are thinking about it, and you're going to want to get this type of update live when it's time for you to buy and sell, especially here in Colorado. So with that, guys, thank you for joining. This live is going to have hundreds of people on it one day. And I just want you to be a part of that journey and know that I really, really appreciate you guys jumping in. This is really good information I wish I had if I was a buyer or seller. And so thank you guys for being along for the journey. Throw a comment down below if you guys have questions. I'll answer them after the video, but we are logging out, and you guys have a great rest of your week. Talk to you soon. Cheers.